let's get into this. This is where we're going to start with our family, okay? With email, again, learn what not to open. If it's a free lunch, it's not legitimate. If you got a prize for something you never entered, don't open it. And of course, the prince that still wants to give you money, I can't believe that's still going on, you know, or he wants a loan or something, you know, don't open it. This is huge too. If somebody gives you a flash drive, even if you trust them, how do you know they know that there's not a virus on their flash drive? Okay, don't do it. Now, don't put a flash drive in your machine unless you know where it's been all the time. So, use your passwords on your phones. 40% don't even do it. Cover up your camera. We already talked about that. Do not take a picture when you know you're going to put it on social media with your GPS on at the time. Turn it off. Because if you don't, encoded into the file, the picture, is GPS information, geolocator codes, what they call it. So now you post that to Facebook, somebody downloads that file, the picture, and now they know exactly where your granddaughter lives, to the exact location. There's no privacy. Again, this is pretty obvious. In social media, even though they tell you got privacy settings, sometimes Facebook will just go in and change them. And then maybe let you know, oh, by the way, you should go back and review them, but we reset them all to everybody sees everything. They do that. So you always want to constantly look at your privacy settings. And of course, employers are going there all the time. For the younger people that love to use this thing and they put some risque things up there, with pictures and their I love the travel. Every time I see somebody say, hey, we're going to Europe for 3 weeks. Great. Burglars, come on in, steal our stuff, you know. Don't do that. Post when you get back. Put the pictures. Hey, we went to Europe for 3 weeks, and here's all the cool stuff, if you really need to do it. And make sure that the pictures don't have geocodes on them. This is big on the banking. The recommendation is use one machine for your banking transactions, and that's it. Do not read email. Do not go to websites except for the banking. Then you know you'll be okay. Okay? But as soon as you use it for something other, now you're taking a chance that somebody could be logging keystrokes, getting passwords, and stuff like that on your machine. Let's see. This is big. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's real. Use some common sense. If it doesn't look right and you don't believe it, go research it somewhere else. Okay? Go research it maybe with Snow. Don't use the same passwords. Oh God, that's huge. So think about this. We use the same password for everything. So once they find it, now as long as they know what your bank is, they can try to get in. Now they know all the different places they can try to get in. Okay? Try, and I know it's a pain because you got I know for me, I got like 200-300 passwords. Of course, I'm in a different business. Personally, you know, probably 20 or 30, 40 maybe. And how do I remember them? Well, one thing I do is I write them down in a file that's named something other than password. I put it in a directory that's hidden, only I know where it is, to do my best to try to keep it from being there. And download software only from reputable sites. Again, there's no such thing as a free lunch. When you download free software, 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 is going to be not good for you. And/or it'll bring writers with it. So let's just talk for an example. If you've recently downloaded Adobe Reader or the thing, DC Reader, right? There'll be 2 check marks. It'll say automatically download Google and use that as my default Chrome, default browser. That's an example. That's not the ones that I'm really looking for. But some of these free sites will have all kinds of software you've never heard of. And it's not good. And when you run a virus scan, it'll find it and say, hey, this needs to be removed from your machine. This is information you care about. For personal, if it's pictures, it's videos of your family, back it up offsite. Make sure that when it goes out, it's encrypted if it's sensitive information, and that you can set it up so in case your machine gets completely compromised, you can bring it back and you know it'll still be good. Put your firewall on your computer and use a reputable antivirus. The problem with the antivirus, anti-malware thing is it's a Dodge, Ford, Chevy conversation on which one you like. I have my opinion. The next IT guy has theirs. One of the things, though, that I think is really true is if you're not going to do anything, at least use Windows Defender, which is part of Windows, especially in Windows 10. It's part automatically, and I believe it's in the other releases as well. If you're going to use social media, only talk to people that you know, and not that you know, but you verified that that's their real account. Okay, you have to spend some time with that. Again, I talked to you about the privacy settings. So you have the picture, you have it. My privacy settings are set to my friends, right? But then so you send it and they see it. Well, there's nothing to keep them from taking that, downloading it, and posting it to their friends. Now it's completely out of your control. Okay? So be very careful with what you put on. And again, we're back to the grandkid that has the geolocator code on it, so now they know exactly where you live. It's your responsibility, guys, even if you don't understand the technology, to find out, if you have kids, what they're doing, where they're going, and to explain to them, hey, if anybody says anything that's a little off color, like, hey, come visit me privately over in my own room. Now I'm talking about virtual rooms on the internet. No, they have to say no. You got to review and install any app they want to install. When they say, I have my daughter come to me and say, Daddy, I would like to download such and such. And she gave me an app. I got on the internet, started researching it, and I found out that it had spyware in it and that it had a really bad reputation. But her friend's using it, and I'm like, well, Zoe, here, look at the information I found. Do you think you should use this? Well, no, Daddy, I think that's really a bad idea. Well, you might want to tell your friend. Last thing for protecting your family, there's a concept called two-factor authentication, but big businesses used to use this or still use it all the time. Basically, you log into something and you have username and password, but then you have a token that shows up on your phone because you use an application that lasts for like 30 seconds or less, and you type that in and then you can get in, all right? That's going to keep a lot of the people out of your accounts. And Facebook, I'm not sure. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you something I'm not sure about. But I know a lot of the social media accounts will support two-factor authentication. Now, that's the 17 things for you personally.